The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Shawn.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's June 7th, 2022, 5:31 right now.
Lots of hockey to watch last night.
Yeah, there was a good bit. Unfortunately, the Oilers lost, so they are out of the playoffs. They lost 4 games straight. They got swept, Steph.
Oh, shoot.
Sorry,
guys.
One of the things that always happens with playoff hockey is that whenever a team gets eliminated, you find out what injuries the guys are going through because they don't reveal what exactly they're playing through, but you can kind of tell that they're hurt a little bit.
Oh.
And one of the Oilers last night in the press conference, one of the reporters asked him after the game, like, "Oh, you seem to be ailing out there, like, what's wrong with you?" And it was Darnell Nurse. He's a defenseman. He said, "I was playing with a torn hip flexor since the end of the season."
Ouch.
Yeah, that's like a muscle that runs from basically the back of your calf, like thigh area, all the way through your hip and then up to your back. So I don't know where it was torn on his body.
Goodness.
It's a very long muscle. Like when I went to Cairo, I had tight hip flexors and I felt like I couldn't move.
Whoa.
He had a torn hip flexor and played 3 playoff series with it. So it's wild to see like what these people play through just for a chance to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, for real. I guess we should give them a medal or something, a second place badge at least.
Well, they finished 4th. There's 3 other teams that have finished ahead of them there. And then there's Leon Draisaitl, who is one of the best players in the NHL on the Oilers. You can just tell he's hurting too. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like torn ligaments in his knee or something.
Oh.
So we'll wait and see what happens. But these guys go through a lot, and then for them not to get the cup, it's tough to see.
Yeah, for sure. Ouch. I called someone yesterday wanting to hire them to do a cleaning service. Mm-hmm. And so I said, like, "Hello, my realtor gave me your phone number." And they were like, "Okay." And I was like, "Are you the person I'm trying to call?"
They just didn't engage in the conversation.
No. And they were like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh,
it's
okay."
like, I'm trying to give you business. Let's conversate about it.
Yeah, like, do you want the business? Like, it was so strange. And so I continued on explaining what I was looking for. And they were like, "Okay." And I was like, "Is this something you'd be interested in?" And they said, "Yeah. Can you just text me?" And I was
Maybe
like,
they're busy. Maybe they had their hands full.
this felt like their brain was full. Like,
Yeah, maybe their brain was full.
yeah, maybe. So,
And they needed, like, I'm a visual person, so if you're just telling me stuff, I'm like, I'm going to need that written down right after this conversation.
okay. Sure, I like the way you're thinking, Shawn, but then I did it again. I called somebody else, and the same situation happened. Like, the person...
You're just talking to a bunch of visual learners.
I must be. Like, I was trying to be, like, explaining, like, I'd love to have a convo about this, see what's going on, and they're like, "Can you just text me?" Like, one-word answers until they finally got it out that they don't like talking on the phone.
Yeah. I guess maybe just the modern world of texting and email now.
I guess so. I'm not here for it.
Out goes the phone call. Steph, you were good most of the playoffs, just throwing out predictions and them coming true. But last night, couldn't will them enough, and the Oilers got swept. They lost.
Okay, well, I'm just forever positive, and so I'm sorry. I did try with the pep talk, but it just didn't work, apparently. I did notice there was so much less social media chatter last night about the Oilers and things like that. Like, I was expecting people to be loud and proud about things, and I was like, "Oh, they must have lost. Nobody's talking about it."
Yeah, no one's going crazy in the comments or anything. Yeah, they should have won. They were up 3-1 at one point in the second period. They were up 4-2 in the third period, and then the Avalanche just came storming back. Their goalie, Mike Smith, classic. He's 40-something years old. He's just been making these weird mistakes all throughout the playoffs. And he did it again last night when they were winning, when he probably shouldn't have. That was a little bit of the teetering point.
What did he do? What
he went out of the net and he played the puck and then he gave it away. And then Colorado scored like 10 seconds later.
Oh, dear.
When they were up like 4-2, I think it was.
Is he sure he wants to be a goalie? Like, it kind of seems like he wants to be
a defenseman, maybe.
Yeah. A defenseman, yeah.
That's a very good point that you bring up there. Maybe he does want to be a defenseman. He often plays like he's a Terry Turnover as well. loves to give the puck away.
Cherry turnover.
Yeah, and then like a lot of, I know like my girlfriend and a lot of her friends and everything, they're huge Oiler fans. Like, oh, the refing was so bad. But it's like, it goes both ways. Like, at the end of the day, you got swept. You lost 4 games in a row. You can't blame the refing for all 4 of the games, or let alone one of the games. Like, it goes both ways.
Sure, at least the refs were consistent. They were bad on all 4 games, Shawn. Like, give the people something.
They were like, Colorado got calls against them too. Like, Cassian should have got kicked out of that game last night. There was just a whole bunch of things. Colorado's obviously the better team. They were the favorites at the very start of the regular season.
Oh, wow.
They were the favorites after 82 games going into the playoffs. So the Oilers, I don't think I think at the start of the year, if you said to an Oilers fan, you're going to go to the Western Conference Finals, you're going to beat Calgary in the playoffs, and you're going to be like the 4th best team in all of the NHL, I think any Oiler fan would take that at the start of the year.
Okay, but this is what I want to hear really fast. You've been saying Connor McDavid is the best player in the league. This morning I heard you say that Leon Draisaitl is one of the best players in the league. Like, what is happening that the Edmonton has these 2 best players in the league and still not winning?
Yeah, you see, that is what a lot of people are asking. 2 top 5 players in the entire world, but a team consists of 12 forwards, like 6D, 2 goalies. So like, you need more than 2 of the top 5 players to obviously win a cup, is what the Oilers are showing for the past like 5 years.
Interesting.
Did you ever make a marriage pact when you're younger with like one of your friends or best friends that you said, like, when we hit 30, if I'm not dating someone or married, we're getting married?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it was a bit younger than that. I think we said when we hit 27.
Really?
Yeah, we were nervous. We were scared that we would never find the love of our lives, and then 27 would be the end.
27 would be the end. That is so hilarious. On Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown and the person who plays Will, they said if they are 40 and they're single, they're getting married, no kids, only dogs, and they're going to have separate bedrooms, which just like brought me back to my childhood as well. I think I was like 16 or 17, and I remember telling this one lady, and we both agreed to it.
This one lady.
Yeah. We're really good friends, and we're just like, if we hit 30, it was 30. If we hit 30, we're getting married.
Oh my goodness. It's so crazy to imagine. Like, I feel like 27 was so young. I got married 4 days before my 26th birthday, and I always, now looking back on it, I'm like, man, like, we were really young. We were just babies. But like, at the time, it was like, what if I never get married? What if I never find anyone?
I love how you got married before your 27th birthday, so you don't have to reach out to that person.
Yeah, I mean, we were still very, very close friends. He did do a speech at my wedding, so he's a pretty great guy, for sure. It wouldn't have been a bad thing, but I'm glad I had my husband.
Did he mention the marriage pact in his speech?
He did not.
Oh, that's a wasted opportunity.
Is it though, or is it awkward?
It's both, but it's great.
The other day I was texting our newest community champion of the month, who is like a jiu-jitsu star.
Yeah, worldwide champion.
Yeah, and I was just asking him for some photos so that we can make a post about how awesome he is. And so he sent me them, and I saved them in my phone. And I was complaining to you that I couldn't find them. And then it was like, do you want to save a duplicate? I'm like, I don't want a duplicate. Where's the first one? What's going on?
Yeah, the lesser of the photos I have in my photo album, the better, because there's already thousands in there.
Exactly. So last night, I'm sitting on my couch, and I just start deleting photos that I don't need anymore. You know, you take 5 selfies, you actually want 1. Yeah, things happen. And I come across a photo like a month back, and it's a man in a martial arts outfit.
It's Tristan.
I was like, that's a strange place for this photo to be. Don't need it anymore, so I deleted it. I don't know Tristan.
Sorry, Tristan. Worldwide champion, but Steph's just deleting you out of the phone.
A little while later, I'm continuing to delete photos. About 3 months back, I find another photo of this man wrestling somebody. And I was like, what the heck? And like, I guess my phone, instead
How does it work?
It just saved it by the date that it was taken on Tristan's phone.
That he took them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense.
He sent me about 12 photos, and I've only found 3 so far. So who knows how long I'm going to be cleansing my phone of these martial arts
juicy.
photos.
I can't wait for your husband to be scrolling through, and all of a sudden he's like looking for a photo of like your camper or something, and he's like 9 months back. He's like, who is this man doing karate in your phone?
Who is this guy with his shirt off? Went for a walk last night on the Interpretive Trail over by Mack Island there.
Yeah.
And it was an impromptu walk. My husband just suggested it, and I was wearing flip-flops, so not the greatest footwear.
Not like you need great footwear to walk that trail.
Well, apparently you do, because as I was walking down the first hill just to get down to the great view of the river and walk along it, one of my shoes slipped on the gravel, and my knee stopped my fall by getting completely filled with gravel. Little bloody knee now.
You're like a little 12-year-old over there.
I felt like
Skin in your knee.
I was trying to think, I'm like, 10 out of 10 would not recommend. It feels awful. But also, when was the last time I had a skinned knee?
Also, I think this is a you problem and not like a proper footwear problem. Sure, shoes probably would have helped, but I think you can walk that regardless of what you're wearing.
You think?
Yes, because I've been there.
Okay, but were you wearing your slides or were you wearing running shoes and you weren't thinking about what was on your footwear?
Slides.
Okay.
If it's nice out, slides, always.
Okay.
Multi-purpose.
All right, fine, Shawn. I just feel like there's a little bit of a PSA here for people who also are clumsy like me, perhaps, but also avoid skinning your knee at all costs. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, before you skin your knee, make sure you don't do it, okay? That's my advice. Have fun today.
All right, it's time for a reality recap, and we have two wonderful local reality stars, Paige Sear and Corey Sear, on the phone. First episode of Battle on the Beach on HGTV aired on Sunday night. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so the first episode aired. You had a watch party for it. How did it all go about? How did you think the episode went for y'all?
It went good. I mean, I was really nervous going into it because you just don't know what they're going to put on TV. They've got hours and hours of footage. So I was kind of nervous about how they were going to make us look, but I think actually we looked good. I mean, we won the first challenge, so that was good. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we looked like the good guys.
And then was there anything that happened that you thought would make good TV that didn't make it into the first episode?
There was a few things that I don't know about necessarily good TV, but definitely a lot of the filming, for the countertops for the kitchen, we spent a whole day at a slab yard picking out countertops, and none of that made it in there.
Oh, yeah, or one of the other team's countertop was broken, and they had to rush and go find new countertops the day before their reveal. That didn't make it in. Mm-hmm. And I made fun of everyone bidding on under cabinet lighting, and that didn't make it in. Probably for the better.
When I was watching last night, it was so interesting. I guess that's probably what you were just saying about under cabinet lighting, because they had all these challenges that was oh, you can't do open shelving anymore and stuff like that, and then the people did anyway.
Yeah, so we had that
same
challenge.
Auction style, yeah.
And so we got the wine cooler and shiplap, which we really, really needed. And Ty's team did tongue and groove on their ceiling and painted it white and said it wasn't shiplap, but it was clearly shiplap. So there was some cheating happening. But that's typical of Ty's team, because I think he cheated last season as well.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He's the team that cheated with the open shelving in the first season. You said that you had a hard time, you didn't get to chat with the teams in our first interview before the episode aired. So did you find you got to see a lot more on this episode of what was happening in everybody's houses, or did you get a tour at the end before you left Galveston?
We didn't see their house at all, and then when they were judging each room, we had no idea. We hadn't seen the houses yet, so we had no idea what they were talking about, the judges. Then right before the appraisers went in for the big finale, we got to tour everyone's house. They did get that on camera, but I'm not sure again if that'll even make it. So we'll see. But it wasn't until the very end, so we had no idea. But we overheard them talking about the tongue and groove. So there is a scene on Sunday's episode where we're like, Ty, you're cheating. Tongue and groove is shiplap. So, yeah, I mean, they cheated, but we still won.
Yeah, good thing. It would suck if they were
right.
that's okay. You, it's all right if you cheat. You still win. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we did really good getting the wine cooler and the shiplap. For me, those were the two biggest things because we didn't want the brass hardware.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, we did good on the challenge.
Yay. Well, congrats. We're so excited for you that you won the first one. I hope you keep winning.
I was going to say, are you allowed to give any teasers for what's to come up, or is that all just hush-hush?
Well, next week is the master bedroom, and there's definitely going to be some drama on this episode. So everyone's going to have to tune in on Sunday.
We absolutely will. Cannot wait. Paige and Corey, you willing to chat with us again next week for another reality recap?
Yeah, you bet.
Awesome.
Bad news for anyone who owns a Hyundai that is 2014 or newer.
Do you say Hyundai or Hyundai?
Hyundai.
Hyundai. Okay.
Hyundai. If you own a Hyundai 2014 or newer, might need a recall on that bad boy.
Oh, no. Again?
I know. I had one in the winter, and now another one I got in the mail just last night.
Do you feel like this car is a lemon or...
I don't know. It might be with 2 recalls in a year. So it's like, did you just forget how to make the car when you sent it out?
Yeah, what's going on? So what's this one for?
Yeah, last time was just like a computer technology, just upgrading
software, in your car,
And I think that's, again, what is happening. So it's free of charge. It only takes like an hour or so, but it's just like no dealership up here have to take it all the way down to get the free of charge thing changed out. A NOx sensor detection system. It's an engine monitoring technology. So that's what's happening. I got a book.
That sounds very technical.
Yeah, it says, I don't know, because they always go to the extreme whenever they explain. It's like, your engine, it could get really hot, and then beams could go everywhere, so we need to do this to save you. I'm just like, that was very intense. I hope that never happens.
Yeah, it's impressive that they find these problems. Like, that sounds like such a crazy thing. You're like, did this happen to someone? Did beams go everywhere? Did they get beamed into space? Like, what is going on? Same when my car had that recall for the airbag.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, pieces of concrete were accidentally put in the airbag that might smoke you in the face. Like, it was like... How'd you find that out? Does somebody else not have a nose anymore? Like,
I really hope you were running tests and it didn't happen to someone on the road.
Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah, so just a heads up. If you have a Hyundai, you can just text in 780-791-1037. I'll let you know if your car's on the list if you haven't got a piece of mail yet.
Also text in and let us know if you say Hyundai or Hyundai.
New Apple updates are slowly rolling out into the internet on what's changing with the phone. And it looks like the company is now joining up, and they are joining the Buy Now, Pay Later program, which has been seen elsewhere.
Yeah, they want a piece of the pie, apparently. I mean, they take everything else and do it better. So I don't know what's going to make Buy Now, Pay Later better. But here we go.
Yeah, well, when Apple joins it, that means it's official, right?
Oh,
when they finally. So it's called Apple Pay Later, and you can make payments, and you can split it into like 4 equal payments over 6 weeks, no interest and no late fees attached to it. So if you want to buy, like, say, an app for $1,
Shawn.
you can split it up into 4 payments of 25 cents, so you don't just get, well, I'm sorry, I'm poor over here and I have to split that, but...
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, I feel like as an Apple Buy Now, Pay Later, they're more thinking about like their iMacs or their laptops, iPads, those kinds of things that would actually make sense to make a payment instead of 25 cents.
Using the App Store to just buy it. Or maybe I could use it for like Apple TV. I could split that up into 4 payments.
You could, but since it's only $5 a month and every month it's a subscription, you wouldn't, I don't know when you want your payments to be once a week.
Right.
$1.25 a week.
That's right. Yeah, I'm not going about this right. I'll figure it out soon enough, but I like the no interest part of this. I can just split up my costs so I can save more money for donuts and pizza and things.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.